Hello, everyone. Today I would like to talk about upcoming vehicles, Farming Simulator 19. Since last Friday, we had seen that they were going to bring out some skid steers and sewer spreader. What was the other one? I think it was a new Valtra. It's been a couple of days. I don't really remember off the top of my head. But anyway, that's not the point. Today I would like to discuss or show rather what new vehicles we're going to be getting that they've not yet done a fact sheet on. And we're going to start from alphabetical order and work our way basically to the end. Um, Now, as far as certain vehicles are concerned in this, uh, they're not all listed as of yet. They're still working on it. We still got a ways to go. We know for sure that. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll talk about it as we go in. So we'll start first with ad code. Um, I don't think there's anything new has come of this as of yet. I have seen that we were going to get this ideal harvester for quite some time, and it had been in the release video. Multiple people have done videos about it, how bad they wanted it, how it's a nice harvester, and that we were fortunate to get it. The one thing that I like about it, black. Black is is one of my favorite colors. My second favorite color is moving on. Agrasim. Now, I'm not very familiar with these. Uh, I'm not saying that they're not in the area I live in, but it's typically not something that's seen or used. I think that if it were more westerly of me, perhaps even more northern, but we don't. I know for sure that we don't. We There's a lot of farmers around here do not use it at all. Now, if I pronounce this wrong, please forgive me. Certain names I'm not familiar with, but I'm gonna say it how I see it. Agromass. Like we've got a disc arrow, one plow, seeder. Not bad. If anybody who watches this, if they want to discuss certain stuff, feel free to leave a comment below and correct me if I'm wrong on anything. I'm all for it. Because again, some of this stuff isn't in the area I'm in. Amazon. Now, we know that we've got it in FS 17. Pretty sure that it was in 15. Not so sure about it if it was in 13, because that's where I started. If anybody wants to let me know, feel free. As far as the coming soon, we still do not know how much more equipment that we're gonna get later down the road. Track. Now this is a new one. I don't know anything in the world about it. I just know that it's listed as a small tractor, 110 horsepower, 40 kilometers an hour. Interesting. So I wonder if it's kind of like would it be equivalent to the same size as like a New Holland uh 5? Little small compact tractor? I don't know. Bedner. Now I know this is the new one. This one for sure was in 17 or is in 17. And I want to say that it was part of the Big Bud DLC. It looks like there's going to be 3 pieces of equipment in this. And, I wish that it was able we were able that Giants would allow these pictures to be like maybe run a magnifying glass over it so you can see. Now, of course, I could zoom in on it, but it'll make the image really blurry. But you know how you can go like on eBay or Amazon or I mean yeah, Amazon about that last piece of Amazon. If you could go on eBay or Amazon and run your cursor over it, you know how it expands some of the pictures, magnify them. It'd be cool to be able to do that here. Maybe they'll do that sometime down the road, perhaps. But I'm pretty sure that that right there was part of the Big Bud deal, especially that it's 500 horsepower, 18 point. Friedel. Again, we have another one that's coming soon. So, if this one's for now, with us getting lime, and I know that you put lime into, spread it onto the spool as part of increasing or decreasing pH level of the soil. I wonder if it's going to be listed as under a fertilizer or if it's going to be something additional that's going to be right here. It doesn't say. It doesn't give us, specifics. Huh. Hello. Now, this is a known brand that's been in multiple of their games. Oftentimes, that you have to use the point headers for certain mods that a header wasn't made for. Matter of fact, I think I'm using one of these on a John Deere harvester I got right now. Case IH. Now that's something familiar that we do have around. Uh, Most of the tractors that we have in the area are gonna be Case IH, New Holland, because there's actually a New Holland dealer right down the road from me. Also a John Deere dealer, but going the other direction. Um, there's a Indra, Hydra, however you pronounce it, dealer that's in the next town over, where I take my lawnmowers to. I have 2 Cub Cadets. Uh, Whenever they need certain work that I don't know how to do, I'll take them to a Kubota dealer. They usually do pretty. They're in another town that's away from me. It's probably maybe about 25 minutes or so. Anyway, but yeah, we have definitely have Case IH around. That's for sure. Um, and I'm glad that Giants has actually taken the initiative to try to keep the models updated, especially being that some models may not vary year to year. Very subtle changes, but you often wonder whenever you come across a page and we know what we've had in the past as far as a medium, large. Now, see, there's the thing too that kind of confuses me. Consider that this one's a large, and that's the Optimum series. You have the Maximum series, medium size. Uh, why wouldn't this one be considered like a maybe an extra large, gigantic, or something like that of that nature? Unless, well, no, because then that would be about the same thing as a Big Bud. I don't know, but you kind of think to yourself, well, why do they list it like? I don't know. I mean, yes, it is a large tractor, but if you compare this one in real life next to this one in real life, this one would probably worth that one. I don't know. Of course, again, we have a Challenger. Now, don't have, or that I have seen, that I can remember, at least not in this area anyway. Know that Challenger and Fent are essentially the same tractor, but different cosmetics as far as paint, badging, and stuff built in house at the same place. So I wonder if this one being the bigger of the other one, if this one's going to be a smaller one. Damcon. Well, didn't really use this one too much in 17. Um, be fair, I mean, I can see why it would be slow, but I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think they're gonna include it. Obviously, it's not a coming soon here, and then things could change. You never know. They may add a different model. I don't know anything in the world about as far as tree planting is concerned. I've never looked into it, but I just know that piece of equipment is slow. Boots Far. Well, that's a brand that I'm not really familiar with. However, it does look oddly similar. Challenger. Challenger tractors. Looking at the nose part of it. Again, I could be wrong. I don't know. But I wonder how come we're not they're not giving any that one. FM. They're all what looks to be skid steer equipment. Again, this is stuff that I really didn't use much in 17. Um, I found a lot of the controls for certain equipment didn't it didn't feel too good. It didn't feel like it should have. Like it, I don't know. Like it didn't have any life to it. I don't know. Um, almost like it was unrealistic. There's another name that I'm probably not gonna get right, but I'm gonna try it anyway. Einbach is obviously a weeder. Um, something that's kind of that kind of gave us all a little bit of a chuckle in 17, at least in my opinion, anyway. Because take a piece of equipment like this out into a field, and you've got crop planted, and you use it. your mind is saying, as this thing is being pulled along and these little pines are rotating, wouldn't it rip the plant out of the ground along with the weeds? Unless that, it's done entirely wrong, and you shouldn't use such a piece of machinery in a field that already has plants coming up. I've never seen this piece of equipment get ever in real life. Typically, whenever they did planted a bean field or cornfield, tobacco field, cotton, wheat, oats, whatever, they always would spray shortly after. Just like as soon as the plants got like ankle high, they took a sprayer out there and knocked it down. The weeds, that is. Sometimes even plants would even be a little bit higher and they would go out there. Elmer's Manufacturing, All Master, Auger Wagon, 46,000 to 70,000 liter capacity. I think that's also another came over from, or at least one similar to it anyway. I wonder if this is going to be like a multicolor option where you can get it any color you want, or if it's just, I don't know. Farm Tech have a small trailer and a manure spreader. 9 meter bent. Now see, here's what I'm saying. Like this is exactly the same thing as the Challenger, and it was the only one in that listing. I wonder if they're ever gonna add in any of the tractors that goes with it, you know? I don't know. It also has a Lexical, another piece of equipment that followed suit over DLC, Big Bud DLC. Now, what I was reading, it was interesting, and I got on a forum or somewhere. I want to say it was a forum. I don't remember exactly where. It might have actually been on Giants um, forum, and someone had asked if all the Big Bud stuff was gonna be transferred over or converted over from 17 to 19, and they said, well, usually, I think someone commented and said that a previous DLC from 15 typically follows suit over and came over to 17, and that Big Bud DLC itself would eventually come over. And we're starting to see bits and pieces of it. However, we've not seen any of the tractors. And I would kind of be somewhat disappointed if they didn't, because there was so much more that they could have done with that machinery that they didn't do 17. Um, that it is what it is. Up next we have Fleagle. Now in the video, the shoot, I guess the game release video, they showed this off as a bale trailer, and I guess it was the top and the sides all was elevated in the air, and drive in and drop your bales off, and then once it got filled, it would lower down to lock them in place. Well, unless this thing either one of two things, either this machinery is going to be really magical, or the person that was driving that piece of equipment was really freaking skilled. Because I cannot see somebody, just a regular player, being able to put bells in this thing and getting them perfectly straight, and the sides coming down and not making the thing glitch out and jump all over the place. We'll have to see. We don't know. The game physics, as far as the trees and the bells, may have changed, being that we're going to be getting new trees. Because if you remember in 17, uh, the typical tree that you could cut down was basically a pine, and all the pines were straight. They just were different heights and different, what appeared to be different width sizes. So other trees would look like maybe oak or birch or dogwood or whatever, had all these funny looking shapes and sizes, and they wouldn't never cut right, and if you cut it down you couldn't process it the same way as you could the pines, and the damn things would just cause the game to spaz out. Like, it would just drop frames like crazy. I'm sure some of you know this, and obviously if you're still playing 17, you know that if you drop a substantial amount of trees, that the game just bogs down, man. Terrible. Anyway, so that was just my thoughts on that trailer. This is a piece of forestry equipment, the Long Neck Combi Plus. It is was listed in one of the last, or the one before last. It was the one, I think it was the one before last, that had to do with some of the forestry equipment um, attached to a tractor. I can't remember exactly what the tractor was. I won't say that it was Ultra. I could be wrong. I can't remember. Gonna be interesting to see also if these, as far as the physics of the trees, how this is gonna react. And I really don't need to explain why. I think we covered it with the fails. Moving on, we have a Timber Runner, also been in the game quite some time. FMZ. Now we all know this one from the South American sugarcane. You know, it came in that whole deal. Um, that thing, man, is god awfully ugly. I'm not a fan of that at all. Just it doesn't appeal to me. Here's another piece of forestry equipment from FSI. Basically the same piece of equipment that was 17. It's coming over. Gessner, also part of the sugarcane. You have the single row and then the two road or double road. Um, Not really much to say about those. Now, again, if I butchered the name, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna try. Gregory Besson. Gregory Besson. That's how I see it. That's how I want to pronounce it. I'm probably wrong. This was this part of the Big Butt DLC? I can't remember. What I can remember is that this part attached to that, and you could use this to connect the tractor to it. I don't know. I don't remember. And it's been a long time, and I rarely use these kind of plows. Grimme? Again, I probably butchered that one. Um, Not really a whole lot to say about this. This one right here was also in the release video. To me, it looks like the older one, however, updated. And what I mean by that is like they've taken the one single wheel that was the rear and doubled it, moved them up front, pushed the tracks out towards. So, I'll. And my question: are these the steering wheels, or is the track in the rear gonna be continued to be uh turning wheel, reverse steering rather? But otherwise, to me, it just looks like the same equipment. Not a whole lot to touch on about all that. I'm sure that they've still got something else coming, obviously. So we'll have to see. Hardy. Hardy is also another brand that is familiar around my area. Um, I've only seen maybe two, and one wasn't even in the field. It was just going down the road, and the other one was probably about 45 minutes away from me. It basically it's just like any other sprayer. Um, just that the sprayer itself is on the front rather than the rear. Um, I'm interested in knowing that if they have got the liquid style sprayer, are they going to also have a dry fertilizer spreader? Basically the same piece of equipment. It's just that it's got a tank on the rear to hold the dry fruit or lime or whatever, or maybe both. We'll have to find out. Time comes. Uh, okay. So I'm probably gonna butcher this one too. Hatson Bikler? Hatson, I don't know. We'll just say it's the Terminator TH-18. This also was part of the Big Bud DLC. Glad to see it coming. Husqvarna chainsaw. Gens have the wood chipper stationary. Both are technically stationary. It's just that this one here's got the lift arm on it and shoot trailer or truck or something beside it, crane to load the logs in. Whereas this one unfolded and load your logs up, and then back here you have a chute offloading belt that can go into a truck or trailer. Some of this stuff we're familiar with from 17. Those of you that are not familiar with any of this, like I said, feel free to ask questions. I'll try to help in the best way I know how. John Deere. Oh, yes. Now, it actually almost brought a little tear to my eye to see that they finally got the infamous John Deere into the game. Now, there's been a lot of speculation around this brand. Been a lot of said, she said, they said, and conflicting stories, stuff that's been changed up that one person said that the other person didn't say. And what I mean by that is that we knew, we didn't know from the direct beginning, when the very first video came out, when the guy was walking to the shed or the barn, whatever you want to call it, and he was holding the keys in his hand, and he had a dog there with him, and the tractor started up. We had no idea that it was going to be a John Deere. None. So finally, Gamescom trailer came out, and they showed what we were going to be getting. Like, the clouds had parted, the angels had come down from heaven and were raining upon all the glorious rays of sunshine into the game about this tractor, or particularly the brand in particular. Okay, now we know for sure that we're gonna get an 8R. It's obvious, it's right there. It was the main topic of that video. Then later came this C560 harvester. This is what has made some people upset and talk about hearsay, she said, he said, whatever. Mumbo jumbo. One of the higher ups at Giants specifically said that right now, this is the only combine that we will be getting. However, they did not say that we would never get another one ever. It's just that this is what we're going to get with this brand right now. So what that could mean, and take this with a grain of salt, I'm being optimistic here. If we're getting an 8R, we've got this combine, 2 headers, and a weight that obviously goes for it. Some have said that a 6 and 7R was coming. I don't know if that's true or not. I have no idea. I just know that if this is the only tractor we're going to be getting for sure, this would disappoint me a hell of a lot more than this combine would. And I know that we have modders out there who can make practically anything, but 9 times out of 10, let's keep it. Let's just be real about it here for a second. 9 times out of 10, somewhere along the way, modder who made that particular piece of equipment screwed it up. Some kind of an error, some kind of a problem that is glitchy, or if it's laggy or whatever. That is terrible. And that's not, to me, that's not good game quality material. You need to go back to the drawing board and start over. Anyway, enough of me ranting on about that. We have it coming soon. We don't have a clue about what's coming. Or at least I don't anyway. This could be an open box for 6R, 7R, 9R. Hell, even a planner or something. I don't know. We have no idea. But the only thing that I know for sure is that don't count all of what you see here as all we're gonna get. Potentially down the road, there's probably gonna be a DLC, and honestly, it would make sense because if you sell the game now for $35 per copy or per key or whatever, and then you offer a DLC for like 11 or $12 to go along with what you already had, it's marketing. And that's how that company makes their money. Okay. Moving on. Moving on. Johnson Red. We have another chainsaw. Click on that. We'll move along. Joskin. Space 8000. Carried over from 17. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Works like a charm. Komatsu. New forestry brand. Uh, 875 and a 93XC. Or 931XC. Um, this is a forwarder. This is a processor. We already seen it in a fact sheet video. Or fact sheets and a video also. Garant. We already have this. We know what this is. Set it by the field. You can load in your slurry to a tank and then go spread it on your field. Or inject into the soil. We have it coming soon. Probably going to be more coming. Kramer. This is also a new brand that I've not heard of, or that I'm aware of anyway. Again, I could be wrong. But it is listed under the front loaders. Me is just a telehandler. So I guess, are those categories going to be merging? I don't know. Agroliner. Also another very good one that come over from 17. Used very often by multiple people. Um, I don't have anything bad to say about those. This is another thing that's an awesome piece of equipment that has finally come back. I think I think they had this in 15. I want to say, and then they had a mod made 17. Well, there's been multiple mods made of it in 17, and most of them, most, not all, but most are garbage. As far as this one's concerned, I wonder if we're gonna have a bigger version of that one. I don't know. Find out soon. This brand is also used around my area. More so, this manure spreader was just recently, listed under their fact sheets and sprayers. Those are very common around here. Um, Not seeing too many of these additional tanks and stuff, and or cedar cultivators, subsoilers. Now, here's another name that I'm probably gonna butcher, and I'm sorry. Vern is the K silent? Verneland? Vernland? No, Verland? I don't know. We have a planner and a disc arrow. I don't use the smaller equipment too much. Um, Now if you had like a, to me personally, I think that you if you're European, and most Europeans, it may be a large land area, but they have very small fields. Most of the farmers in America, well, let me rephrase that. North America is huge. USA is huge. Europe is huge. And farmers in America, or North America rather, tend to have larger fields and very, very, very minimal small fields. So the smaller the field, the smaller the piece of equipment. Well, most European people that I have watched on YouTube or discussed anything as far as farm work there, they have smaller fields. So ideally, smaller equipment would be more suited to European people than American people. Um, Unless you're just an old school farmer who works by himself and has a very small patch of land with small fields. That's the only way that I can justify it being used by Americans. Blizzard. It is the Farm Sim brand of equipment because they haven't got a license for Peterbilt or Mac or um, Kenworth or any of the other brands out there that I didn't mention. And also, it covers specific equipment that may be real, like a realistic piece of equipment or a real piece of equipment that just they can't use the name of. To me, and this is all speculation. To me, this kind of just by the headlights, it kind of resembles a Peterbilt, or maybe a combination of a Pete and a Kenworth, but I don't know. I just know that by looking at this picture, to me, this truck here looks like it's got a logging rack on the rear or headache rack or whatever you want to call it, and just how it looks like it's slotted. This one has a sleeper on the rear of it, or sleeper built into it, and these two are just day cabs. This one has a third axle. These two do not. Is there going to be? Hopefully, there's going to be a way to raise and lower this third axle, and to me, this is just how it looks, and I could be wrong. This looks like it should haul heavy equipment. This one looks like it should haul cattle. This one looks like it should be logging. Essentially, all three have the same speed, just different horsepower. Just kind of funny. You would think that they would add a variety between the three so it'd be well suited for whatever you needed it for. I don't know. Let's see. They got rid of the pickup that was in the previous game, 17. When you first looked at it, you saw like an old Ford F100 or F150 or perhaps even a Dodge. This to me looks kind of like a cross between a Datsun and maybe, I don't know. It depends. I haven't been able to, or at least that I've seen anywhere. I haven't seen the rear of it, so it's hard to say. But if by looking at the bed and how it's shaped, it kind of has the resemblance of a Chevrolet C10. But the front does not. I have no clue what kind of truck this is supposed to be, unless it would be assembled as like a Toyota or Datsun or something of that nature. Anyway, we have a small harvester for sugarcane. We have this is the second awesome thing as far as related game that they finally introduced cotton as a new crop. Um, I wish that they had brought cotton in years ago, but The only way to have gotten it is if you played on a modded map, or if you added it in. Obviously it would be a modded map. Then if you took it and you edited the map yourself, um, they finally have got it in. Now, the only thing that I don't agree with this is that here in America, where majority of the farmers that do cotton, plants cotton, raises cotton, or grows cotton, whatever, they use a truck that has this module container on the rear of it. We don't use trailers like this. This trailer to me looks like it would be something for like a lawnmower, or a small piece of equipment like a compact tractor or something. This is I don't get this. And as far as the module is concerned, the the only cotton harvester we got is from Case. And in the video that they put out, the way it was built is that it would build a rectangular shaped cotton module. And then it would empty the module out onto the ground, and then back this or this up to it, and then load it on. Now, most of the farmers that grows cotton around here, they have a cotton harvester that just has a container on the back, kind of like this here. And once it got full, it would empty out. And say if a tractor was pulling a piece of equipment like this, which is called a bowl buggy, um, it would dump it into it, and then it would cart it off into a module builder, which a man would operate, stand on the platform, and he would operate it. And as the cotton would be dumped in, this packer would move back and forth along these side rails, and it had a hydraulic cylinder on the top of it that would push down and compact or pack it. And the more cotton you added, the more you packed. You get to a certain level, and then module builder would actually lift up off the ground by at a between 2 or 4 wheels on 2 wheels on each side, or 1 wheel on each side, whichever. And it would lift up off the ground. The door would open in the rear, and you would pull the tractor and the module builder forward, leaving with a cotton module. And you would take a tarp, big blue tarp, whatever color, and lay across the top of it to keep it from getting wet. Then the truck with this module loader would back up to it and load it on, and it would be almost just as long as that section. Um, yeah, that's about it. It looks like they have another piece of equipment coming soon. We'll have to see. Man, this was also listed in the forestry equipment. It has a crane style loader in the back where you can load your logs onto it and go on about your business. Manitou. This is a telehandler. See, now this is what I don't understand. The other thing that was just shown earlier looks similar to this. So why was that considered a front loader and this a telehandler? I saw really a whole lot of not a whole lot of difference. Massey Ferguson, also the second most popular brand around here. It looks like they have another piece of equipment coming also. Um, Probably gonna be the 8700 series. Got a 56 and a 77. Uh, have to wait and see. McCulloch chainsaw, Holland, which is the one of the bigger brands around here. Next to, it's like John Deere's number one, then New Holland and Case would be like number two, and then Massey would be number three. That's just how it goes. Uh, you have a T6, a T8, and a T9. Hopefully, they have done this one right, because I'm sorry, but the T8 that was in 17, it looks terrible. It looks terrible. When you add the front wheels on it, there was so much gap between the wheelbase in comparison to a T6 or a T7. It just looked weird. And, maybe it was done for a reason. I don't know. Maybe it was scaled to be too big. I don't know. But anyway, I'm hoping that they're going to bring a T7 into also. Got a 6 and an 8, why not a 7? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Uh, in the most recent fact sheet, the this skid steer was featured. Um, I'm glad to see that they're finally gonna put some skid steers in the game, other than JCB. Uh, it's hey, it's always good to have some kind of change, and even if it's New Holland and not a John Deere, that's great. You know what? That's fantastic. At least we're getting more equipment than we had in the previous, and I can't complain with that. Paladin, uh, it looks like all these are for skid steers. Um, bucket, pallet fork, bale spear, manure fork, bale handler, stump grinder, and a brush and log fork. Let me get something to drink real quick, guys. Throat's starting to get a little scratchy. Okay, moving on. We're almost to the end. Fonzie. I don't need to talk much about it. If you guys have played 17, did forestry, know how it works and operates. Any newcomers that don't have the game as of yet, um, personally, in my opinion, what I think you should do, and I think you can still do this, I think they have a demo you can download. Or I might be thinking entirely of a different game. I don't remember. But I didn't do it. But if you're new to the game and you don't want to spend the money on it yet, either, I don't know, see if a buddy will let you borrow play their game, or possibly download a demo and try it for yourself. Um, I don't know where I'm going with this. I just thinking that if you're new to the game, or have you not played it yet, maybe play an older version first. See if you like it before you buy 19. That's all I'm saying. Randon, sugarcane equipment. Talk too much on it. Raul? Raul? I don't know. It's a cultivator called the Polymac 300, 3 meter working whip. Roper. So I'm pretty sure that the DLC for 17 is probably gonna follow suit and come over. I didn't buy it. I didn't feel the need to. Uh, hey, bring it on. Rostelmash also is being brought over from 17. I think I used it maybe once or twice just to see if it will see what everybody was hyped up about it for. There was so many people that were talking about this damn harvester, and I didn't understand why. So, okay, I tried. It worked just like all the rest of them. I didn't see nothing fancy about it, unless you just like that brand, or like the company, or like the colors, or just your combine in particular you like. I don't know. Anyway, Salford, also another brand that I think believe came over from Big Bud DLC. Uh, that's a small guy there. Big guy, 2 meters. More is coming soon. Sampo Rosenlu. Rosen, I don't know. Rose. That to me was pointless in 17. Samson Aggro. Slurry Tank, Spreader. So, I got this right, and the way it looks is that you can take this or this, put it on this, not both at the same time, just one or the other. Maybe. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I don't know. I never used it. Only time that they use any kind of manure spread around here is usually well, from what I have seen, and again, it's just me. Different areas, different farmers, different types of people do different things different ways. In this area, what I have seen farmers use the most when they do manure spreading is they have what looks like an industrial sized truck. It looks like a monster truck. And got like the street legal, like a street legal monster truck. Registered, insured, everything, right? And it's got a big holding tank on the rear. That you could take like a front loader or what an excavator, whatever you're using to clean up your manure and put chicken manure, pig manure, cow manure, whatever in the rear. And essentially, it would do the same thing this one right here does. So, never seen too many of these in this area. But, again, that's just me. Star. We all know that this will be coming over from 17 because of the sugarcane DLC. Um, I don't think nothing much has changed here, but I'm glad to see that it's coming along. Steppa, just you hook a truck or a tractor to this and then get in here and then load your logs into the back. That there, here, however it's pronounced. Medium tractor. I want to say that it would be. I wonder if it's gonna be have the. There's another one that's coming similar to this that offers the forestry package. Essentially, just some bars that come, you know, like kind of like a roll bar type system. The wire mesh over the window. Deal. So, think there's anything in here new. All of these are just for front loader attachments. Wait. Think there's anything new there either. D. Have more. I think I used this stuff, these two. I think I used them on a small map that I was playing one time, and worked pretty good. Worked bad at all. About it. Right here is a sugarcane planter and just a buggy to transport it. Vaderstad. Well, only thing that I can say about this is that the Seed Hulk, toolbar, air cart were part of the Big Bud DLC, and in 19 they've got a new paint job. I think the company that had these, I think they sold out and Vaderstad bought them. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. Vulture. Two and one's coming, or multiple's coming. I have no idea. We'll have to wait and see. Excellent tractors to use if you're just starting out. Wilson trailer. Another new one that has not been in the game before. Finally made it. Glad that they finally got Wilson on board. They make some really nice trailers. A lot of people have, a lot of the American players have wanted this. They finally got it. Ziegler. Now, I don't have a clue about this brand. This particular brand I have never seen in any of the Farm Sim games. Now, maybe I'm just not familiar with the brand enough to say yay or nay. But obviously, it's just a generic corn header, unless there's another piece of equipment that's supposed to go to this. I'm not sure. Maybe this piece of equipment is kind of like the MacDon header for combines. Maybe this is the European version of that. I'm not sure. I have no idea. But that pretty much concludes what is in the upcoming list as of now for this game. Again, if I got something wrong, or if you want to, tell me, hey man, you didn't say this name right, or you don't know this, or you don't know that, or whatever, feel free to leave me some comments down below. And if you're new to the channel and you feel like subscribing, please do so. Make sure you click that little bell icon when I upload and or go live. Thanks guys, appreciate it. See you later.